exports of nitrogen and phosphorus to the Baltic Sea. So I'd like to support with some information about Polish agriculture and trends in Polish agriculture before and after accession with European Union. Some general characteristics. Poland is a country situated in the central part of Europe with a territory of 312.7 thousand square kilometers, seventh of the European Union. The total agricultural land in the Baltic catchment is covered by 15% of total agricultural catchment consists the agricultural land in Poland, and population of rural areas consists 35% of total population in Poland. As you can see, the two pictures presents the last year before accession with European Union, and the second one, the situation in Polish agriculture after 7 years. Since May 2004, Poland has been a member of European Union. The total the number of persons employed in agriculture, fisheries, forestry and hunting is about 2 times higher than the percentage share of the persons employed in those sectors in all European Union. As you can see, in 2003, the total area of agricultural land in Poland accounted for 77.3%. After 7 years, we have only 58%. So the second picture is more detailed because the agricultural land registration systems forced by European Union is more detailed. So you can see that the 30% which we call as idle land consists the missing part of this arable land in Poland. And the second pictures confirms the trend with decreasing of arable lands in Poland since 1960. In 1960, the total area of arable land reached almost 60 million hectares, and in 2010 we have only almost 11 million hectares. And the two red posts represents the last year before accession and the first after accession. So you can see that the moment of accession did not bring any serious changes in the trend of arable land decreasing in Poland. So some words about structure of individual agricultural holdings in Poland. The most of agricultural holdings in Poland consist the highest share of agricultural land in Poland lies in the group of holdings to 5 hectares, but you can see that in the group among 1 to hectares, this part consists only 5% of total agricultural holdings area in Poland. And after accession with European Union, the medium agricultural holdings in the group 5-10 hectares has been more stronger. Of course, more of the agricultural holdings in Poland produce solely or mainly for their own use. And the area of agricultural holdings is gradually extending, and in 2010 reached 9 hectares of agricultural land. Some words about share of arable crops in Poland. Poland is mainly under cereals. Agricultural conditions in Poland are generally very pure because of prevalence the very light soils, which covers 60% of total agricultural area. And we have about 50% of very acid and acid soils, and soil acidification is originating from the bed rocks in Poland. Acidification is linked with a low content of magnesium, and it is the main factor limiting agricultural production in Poland. The low content of potassium is the second very limiting factor for agricultural production. However, the most of crops grown in Poland are cereals, and you can see that since 2000 the share of total crops grown in Poland slowly increased. After accession, potatoes and sugar beets plays an important role in production in Poland. Now, mainly cereals and rape are the most popular. Among cereals, winter wheat and winter rye is the most common. Formerly, production of mineral fertilizers was a very important part of central plant economy for political reasons, of course. And production and distribution of mineral fertilizers was subsidized by the state and matched the demand for mineral fertilizers by Polish agriculture. And mineral fertilizers was much more available for the state farmers in comparison with the individual farmers. Since after 1991, the first year of transformation in Poland towards a market-oriented economy, nitrogen consumption in Poland dropped dramatically. And you can see that since 1996 to 2005, we can observe a relative stabilization in mineral fertilizers consumption in Poland. You can see that the consumption is very low, and in 2010 the average consumption of NPK fertilizers reached 230 kilograms NPK, of which 65 kilograms consist the nitrogen fertilizers. Poland is divided into 16 voivodeship, and you can see that the characteristic feature of Polish agriculture is differentiation with nitrogen fertilizers consumption. but the average consumption, as I thought, is about 65 kilograms per hectare. And the second picture presents differentiation of phosphorus consumption in mineral fertilizers in 2010. And a few words about animal production. The most popular in Poland are the cattle, especially cows and pigs. Sheep are the share of sheep in the total animal production in Poland is concentrated only in the high mountains and decreased from 1995. Animal production in Poland is also under diversification, and density of animals in Poland are rather low, and the average density is 40 to 45 heads per 100 hectares. And this is the most important part of my presentation. And this picture you can see, this picture were presented today, and you can see that if we compare the four largest catchments in the Baltic Sea, Polish, Finnish, Swedish and Russian, it is clearly shown that the share of agricultural land are the highest in Poland and covers about 50% of total agricultural area in the four catchments. All the largest catchments are differs in the agricultural land. About 50% of Finnish catchment is covered by forested areas. Forested areas and lakes are 2 times higher in Swedish, Finnish and in Russian catchments in comparison with the Polish one. And it is very well documented that emission of nutrients from agricultural land are incomparable higher in comparison with emission of nutrients from lakes or forested areas. And it is a very strong correlation between nutrients content, especially nitrogen content, in open waters. And it is also well documented in scientific literature that population plays a decisive role if pollution, water pollution with nitrates. And this is the picture which illustrates the population density in the Baltic Sea drainage basin. So on this picture you can see the percent of total area, agricultural land, forest and citizens in catchment Baltic, and you can see that Poland is characterized by the highest number of the highest population and a highest total area of agricultural land. Natural. On this picture you can see what is the consumption of nitrogen from natural or organic fertilizer, because according to Polish law manure, slurry and liquid slurry is classified as natural fertilizers, and organic fertilizers are, for example, compost. And Utilization of nitrogen from the manure reached about 30% of total consumption, total nitrogen consumption from natural and mineral fertilizers, and of course differs between particular voivodeship in Poland. Of course, consumption of nitrogen fertilizers in Poland is rather high, but not highest, and it is rather similar to the average of the 15 countries of European Union. And consumption of nitrogen per capita is the second. Is the third in all countries of European Union, and nitrogen balance reached 60 kilogram nitrogen per hectare, but you can see that utilization of nitrogen in mineral and natural fertilizers are very high in Poland. This picture presents total loads of nitrogen discharged from the territory of Poland to the Baltic Sea, and of course I have to agree that the Polish share, Polish contribution in pollution of waters of Baltic Sea is considerable. The total loads of potassium is the highest in Poland, and you can see that the total loads of phosphorus is about 30% lower in comparison in Denmark, but it is very high. But if you compare those two pictures with this one, you can see that the specific loads calculated for a capita or for one person in Poland gives the Poland the very good position among the country in the Baltic catchment. And this is the loads specific loads calculated for phosphorus, and only Denmark had a value lower in comparison with Poland. So it is very important and to calculate not only total loads of phosphorus and potassium exported to the Baltic Sea, but also taking into consideration the specific loads of phosphorus and potassium calculated per one capita. This picture presents that inflow from Polish territory per capita is calculated for 5 kilograms, 5.73 kilograms nitrogen per capita, and 0.36 kilograms phosphorus per capita, and in 2007 for 3.77 kilogram nitrogen per capita and 0.23 kilogram phosphorus per capita, and it presents Poland in the better light, I think. And this is the model of flowchart of nutrients from the primary sources to the Baltic Sea. And you can see that the natural, this model includes the natural sources, dispersed sources origin from arable land and agricultural land, and the last, it is point sources calculated from the number of persons in Poland and the average utilization of nitrogen and phosphorus for one person. And after two levels of retention in soils, this is the first level and this is the second level. From the total amount of 212 tons nitrogen from agriculture dispersed is only 94 tons nitrogen, and from the point sources only 22 tons nitrogen and 1.98 tons of phosphorus. So let me read the conclusions. In the presentation, the brief characteristic of Polish agriculture in the last 20 years with recognition of the periods before and after accession to EU is shown. The CAP system of direct payments to agricultural soils kept in good culture revealed the fact that about 30% of the land previously classified as being in use is in fact in the idle land. Therefore, from the total agriculture area of 19 million hectares, 50.6 million hectares only is under agricultural management, of which 40.5% is covered by CAP direct payment. Already in the period before accession, the number of sheep and cows dropped dramatically, the number of pigs shows fluctuation, and the stock and poultry increased considerably. After accession, this trend faded away, and the situation has stabilized, however, on the lower level. In 2010, the average density of animal stock is 0.41 livestock unit per hectare. The consumption of nitrogen in mineral and natural fertilizers is low to the average of 7 countries in Baltic catchment. The balance of nitrogen of about 60 kg nitrogen per hectare per year is however higher, and an utilization of 54% is lower than the average values for those countries. And the last one, the discharge of nitrogen and P compounds from the Polish territory is the highest among the Baltic countries. However, calculated per hectare or per capita belongs to one of the lowest. The contribution of agriculture to those losses is estimated at 65% of nitrogen and 55% of P respectively.
Thank you, Agnieszka. Questions? Sindre?
I wonder, you are not able here today to give any scenario, but would you know if the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development are developing scenario? My guess is that there would be someone in the ministry that has a task to develop future scenarios. And for instance, you are in a very tough process. I'm talking on behalf of the farmers now in Poland, in the restructuring process, where you have all these very small farms, which in Sweden is not even classified as a farm, with 1 or 2 hectares up to 5 hectares. The ministry, do they have some unit that maybe develop scenarios? Would you have any idea of that?
Well, yes, I think that as you can see, I think that Poland contribution to the Baltic Sea contamination will not be increased, because the amount of the share of arable lands in Poland are still decreased, and I think that now it is a stabilization in Polish agriculture, and taking into consideration the demographic trends, I think that it will be at the same level as now.
Okay. Well, thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
And before letting Kristen